Welcome to the Rusted Garden Homestead. This is my first video for my 2020 series on starting and planting seeds outdoors. So there's no need for grow lights. We're going to use the outdoors. We'll move things in and out as needed. We're starting early. It's February 22nd, so last night it was 25 degrees. Today it's getting up to 55. First video is going to be about starting peas in a bucket. I'm also going to do videos 2 and 3, and that's on using these containers to start cool weather crops and warm weather crops, and to get the peas started, you know, besides just using basic potting mix, we're going to cover them with vases that you can pick up at thrift stores. They're $1 or $2, and these will be like mini cloches. So let's get started with planting peas in 5-gallon buckets. I'll show you how to set up the buckets. Any potting soil is fine. We're not even going to add fertilizer, but peas are really the first vegetable to get outdoors. They love the cold weather. They need about 70 days to grow and mature. So I moved into my basement because the wind's picking up. First thing you want to do is make a hole about the size of a dime, 1 inch up. Anytime you're planting into a container, it should have drainage. If you let a container fill up with water, it takes the air pockets out of the soil, the potting mix in this case, and your plant's going to die. So you always want a drainage hole. I like to put them up higher so that a little bit of water sits in here as a reserve come late summer when I'm setting up my containers. Actually, sometimes I'll even go up higher if I'm growing peppers or tomatoes. But for peas, that's perfect. So this is what it's going to look like when you're done. Your peas are hollow stems, so they're going to need something to trellis on. They can get up to 4 feet tall. If frost and cold's no longer an issue and you're not using the vases, a tomato cage works really well for trellising. Now, you can get any kind of container. When I'm starting in February here, or early March, I'm still getting, like I said, those 25-degree nights. It lasts longer. It's not just like dipping down to a frost for an hour or two. I like to use black because the sun will come in, keep this warm. Now, peas can be planted straight into your soil. When the soil's draining, it's not frozen anymore, and it's about 40 degrees, low 50s. But that's not happening right now. I want to get these out early, so we're going to use a potting mix from a store. Any potting mix is perfectly fine. Sometimes they have fertilizers in it, sometimes they don't. We're going to water this with a water-soluble fertilizer, so just pick up any inexpensive potting mix. Most of them are 50% peat moss. A lot of times they've got some wood thrown in there, some fine mulch. But the whole key to a potting mix is that it's at least 50% peat moss, coco coir, wood product, combination of all three, so that it holds moisture. Okay, let me fill up the container. So the peas that I'm planting are, I think, sugar daddies. And the sugar snap or the sugar peas are the ones that have the edible pod and a fill full of plump peas. That's what I like growing. You can get the snow peas. When it says snow peas or snow pods, that's the flat pod with immature peas in there, and then you can also buy shelling peas. But this is what I prefer. After you put in the container mix, bring it all the way to the top, and then just press it down. You want it to be nice and packed so that the root systems have something to really grow into. You can't overpack potting mix because of all the peat moss and product in there. So that's nice and solid. When you're growing peas outdoors, you can really space them about 2 inches apart, but you can overcrowd them. Again, this is a 5-gallon container. If you're concerned about leaching or whether or not it's a food grade container, you can line this with a extra large turkey bag. So you can get any container you want, put the turkey bag in there, make sure you put some holes in the bottom, and it will line this in case you're concerned about leaching. Now, depending on the size of your vase, you want to just measure out where the peas are going to go. So I know that 3 were going to fit in here. So the cloche or the vase can stay on the whole time. It's nice and thick. It's going to really provide that extra warmth for your peas to get growing. If it does get up into the 60s, a full sunny day, you're going to want to remove this. It probably still won't heat up inside to really damage your pea plants, but when you get into the 60s, full sun, it's a good idea just to remove these. And again, you're going to leave them on really until it starts staying above 32 degrees, above freezing, pretty regularly. Again, peas can take a light frost. Now, if we were planting outside, which I can't because my ground is frozen, peas like 40 to 50 degrees soil to get started and they'll germinate, but they don't like it to be soggy. So we're starting the peas in the containers to get peas quicker to the table, get a harvest sooner than later. I'll also be putting them outside. Even my container soil outside is frozen, so you do want to go and pick up a potting mix from the store. Double check it, make sure it's not frozen. So once you put the peas in, typically you can plant them 2 inches apart in the ground or out in your garden bed. In containers, I've put in anywhere from 6 to 12 in a 5-gallon container, and they always do pretty well. You're just going to press down. I'm putting 3 peas in each area. Press them down about 1 inch. Cover them up. We water them in. I'll take these outside and water them in. And you're only going to really have to water them once because it's cold out. They haven't germinated. Don't overwater them. Just let them go. And that's all I'm going to do. Push it down. This will bring in the heat. It'll keep it warmer. The black container will keep it warmer. This isn't going to freeze solid. This is a great way to get peas started early. You'll get them earlier to the table. The cloches will help keep them warm. And I'll be using these out in the garden. I'm going to be taking lettuce seeds out there soon as the soil can be worked a little bit. And I'm going to plant a bunch of seeds inside there. Just cap them with this and let them stay protected for a good 3 or 4 weeks until they're growing. So there's a lot of ways that you can start seeds outdoors without having to do transplants or use grow lights, and this is just one trick to get vegetables started early outside. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please check out my seed shop at therustedgarden.com. Thanks for watching.